Hey, YCIS, it's Mr. Hackman again, back for this week's CCD assembly. I hope everybody's mock exams, if you're one of our upper secondary students listening to this, that your mock exams went well. And if you're lower secondary, you've got mock exams to look forward to. Those days are coming. Um, I want to continue our theme that we've been looking at this month of January, looking again at healthy habits, how to develop healthy habits, and not to look at developing healthy habits is just simply things that you stop doing or the negatives. Although there's certain aspects to that. Myself, I've shared with you some of my healthy habits and stopping certain things and or moderating things that maybe are not the best for health and for fitness, but to increase things in our lives that are life-giving, that are nourishing, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, things that at the end of the day we can feel very proud about. And maybe proud is the wrong word, but in a affirming self-esteem type of manner. So one of the things I want to focus on today, though, is how do we develop habits so that they become lifestyles? Right now, like I said, we're focusing on on habits. And as you can see, I've shared before, I have my little chart up on the wall with the habits that I'm looking to cultivate over the next 60 days, or we're about 14 days into it now. But these are things where, okay, if I do, it's a structure, it's a framework for creating healthy habits so that I can, put a star on, or I can check off, I did this, or I achieved this today, or I hit my habit the way I wanted to today. And there's a good feeling about that. You get that dopamine injection. I know when I put my star on and I feel like I did well in something, or I achieved what I wanted to do for the day, there's a good feeling that comes from that. But the goal is that these habits are so become part of our lifestyle, we're not even thinking about them anymore. That we're not thinking, oh, I got to do this so I get that, good feeling, or I got to get that star. But you're just doing them naturally, sometimes without even thinking about it. And that's when these habits become a healthy part of our lifestyle. Let me put on my glasses for a second. I got to do a little Bible reading here. But in the Bible, the Apostle Paul, and I've mentioned the Apostle Paul before, he wrote a letter to the church in Corinth, which is in Greece. And Corinth was going through a difficult time. The Christian church there was struggling with there was a lot of habits in the culture in Corinth that were not very life affirming, that were not very helpful. A lot of them caused a lot of pain, a lot of hurt. And there was a conflict of the healthy habits that Paul was trying to develop in Christians, and it was coming up against some of the culture around him or around them. And so he's trying to encourage them how they can go from having healthy habits to a healthy lifestyle. And he gives himself an example. He says this. He says, all things are lawful for me, but not everything is beneficial. All things are lawful, but I will not be dominated by anything. And what he means by this is he's gotten to this place in his life where he's not saying, oh, I'm never going to eat this again or drink this again or participate in this activity or that activity. What he's saying is, really, I can do any of these types of things because none of these things I'm addicted to. I am in control of my body. I'm in control of my mind. I dictate to my body and my mind what I will it to do. They don't dictate to me what I'm addicted to. And he was really trying to share, how do we get to this place where we're no longer thinking about habits and that, oh, I've got to do this or I've got to stop doing this, but I can kind of do this. I could, for example, if I'm trying to lose weight, but I get to a place where I'm generally eating healthy, I'm not given to an addictive nature of eating bad foods all the time. Well, then I go out and I'm with friends, and maybe you have that ice cream sundae, or you have that second piece of dessert, or that kind of that kind of indulgence because it's lawful to you. You can accept it because It doesn't dominate you. If I have the second piece of dessert, what Paul's saying is if I have a second piece of cheesecake after dessert at a special function for my friends, I'm not going to keep eating cheesecake because I'm addicted to it for the rest of my life. And a lot of times what happens is people get into bad habits, which can lead to addictions. And that's a place we don't want to go. We're trying to go the positive way. We're trying to develop in ourselves a lifestyle where you don't even need the framework anymore. See, my goal is to get to the place where some of these things that I have as my goals for the day, um like reading 10 pages of a book a day, that used to be pretty much something I did anyhow. I didn't have to have a chart on the wall to tell me to read 10 pages of a book. I always read at least 20, 30, 50 pages of a book a day. I was addicted to reading, and that's a good addiction to have. But busyness and a changing of our social media culture, more time on Twitter, more time on Facebook, more time on Instagram, more time on YouTube. The reading gets shoved out, and I'm realizing that is not healthy. And so what I've tried to do is now put structure back into my life where I am cognizant that I need to read 10 pages of a book a day. The goal is to get to the place where I'm not even thinking about it anymore. And like Paul the Apostle in that verse, where if I go a couple days and I haven't read, I don't feel guilty about it because I've already built into my lifestyle that I'm a reader. I will get into it on the third day or the fourth day. I will read because I've built it into my nature of who I am. It's when we lose having these things as part of our natural nature that sometimes it's helpful, like I did for me, and I want to encourage possibly for you as well, to create a little structure, a framework, so that you can monitor healthy habits that you want to develop into your lifestyle. I think that'll be very helpful for you. So my question for you is there a habit that you would like to get to a place where it is part of your lifestyle and you're not even thinking about it anymore? What habit would that be? What would you like to see? Or, like I mentioned about book reading, is there a habit I used to have and I've fallen out of it and I would like to get back to it again? Leave those comments and answers in your Google Classroom. Would love to hear some of them. And I wish you a healthy habit rest of the week and rest of January. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Bye-bye.